So here's a pair of 1906R. This is the Eclipse. So it's got kind of dark navy colorway. And even though they're not really sort of a trainer in my opinion for winter time, this is probably a colorway that can be sort of worn in winter time, although just basically more in the sort of milder days. But this one is quite cool actually, because it's got more of an overall sort of upper being in blue, and this kind of back heel tab plate here being in, or sort of heel cage being in grey silver colour. It kind of sets it off quite nicely, and same with the N-lock logo. It just makes it look a lot more interesting, I guess, because of the contrast. And even though you got kind of these sort of darker blue sort of hits as well for the overlays, it just still looks really cool and still within line with what a 1906R is. And because it's kind of the darker colorway, it kind of will kind of be able to wear it with a lot of different things. And I'm a big fan of the outsole as well. It's very sort of grippy and very kind of easy to basically wear, and just provides really good grip. And in terms of comfortability as well, this outsole, midsole is just awesome. I think you can't go wrong with these. I think this is like an original pair that came out. Therefore, I found the size to be on the smaller end. So I'd recommend sort of going up half size if you're buying like an earlier pair, which is what this is. But the newer versions of the 1906R seem to be true to size, so you can go with your normal size. But it kind of depends really, depending on when the sneaker was manufactured. So I think, I'm not sure if New Balance put their manufacturing on there, but like say for instance with this pair, it's manufactured, it says December 2022. So even though it came out in 2023, it was manufactured in 2022. But I think anything that's basically mid 2023 manufactured would probably be true to size, I'd imagine. So here are the details for the New Balance 1906R Eclipse Navy, and it comes in an Eclipse Navy black and steel colorway, and it also has what they're calling a ABZORB midsole. So that's the gel-like material around the heel area, and that is mainly there for sort of absorbing impact and cushioning, and for any kind of compression resistance. And it also has what they're calling a stability web outsole, so that is the mid plate that runs through the trainer. And the N-ergy cushioning makes up the rest of the midsole, so it's mainly there for sort of shock absorption. And it's predominantly a mesh and synthetic upper, and the price was £150. With regards to comfort sizing, these are, I would say, more on the soft to medium side. The reason for that is the ABZORB gel-like technology that they use in the heel just provides a lot of sort of give and softness, especially sort of for when you're walking around. And I think some of that's to do with the N-ergy midsole itself, but it feels just really nice on foot. And they also have a great arch and heel support because it's predominantly a runner again, and New Balance seems to be very good with keeping your foot sort of in a nice sort of neutral stance. And with these, it just depends on the pair that you get. If you get an manufactured old pair of, like, say 2022, I think they run slightly on the smaller side. So for that reason, I'd go up half size for everyone. However, if you're getting a new model, which is in 2024, let's say, or end of 2023, then I think you can go true to size in those. But it's a bit hit and miss. And if you can, I'd probably order 2 sizes and maybe give one back based upon which one you prefer. And I think the traction is very good on these. I've been wearing them a lot, and I just find them very, very comfortable. With regards to the look and style, it's a futuristic 2K runner. I know like some people prefer the sort of smoother lines of the 2002R or the 860 V2, but I prefer this particular model over those two. It's kind of more my style, and it does look very sort of futuristic and got sharp lines. And wearing these mainly sort of spring summertime, it's that kind of sneaker. It's got a lot of mesh on there, so it's got a lot of breathability, so you don't really want to wear these during the winter. And I can sort of say just rocking them casually, I think it depends on how you dress really, but if you're one of those sort of high fashion people, then I'm sure you can pull off a sort of smarter outfit. but for me, for example, I'd mainly sort of dress casual with these. And basically I'd sort of put in white. The laces would work well on this because of the midsole, and grey because of the heel counter, and blue itself as well, so the dark blue is already in there, so it kind of works. So in regards to the pros, I like the 2K runner aesthetics, and I always will do for the 1906R. It just is kind of more my bag. And the comfortability is really nice on these, and the gold standard in my opinion. I think this and say the Nike Invincible Run are kind of two trainers that I think are ultimate in terms of comfortability, and then after that the 990 V6 comes up next. It's a kind of nuances in terms of which one you prefer, and the different, then they are sort of different technologies. But if I had to choose one, I'd probably choose this 1906R pair, or a 2002R pair as the most comfortable sneaker. And I like the fact that they have these Ortholite insoles. I wouldn't say they're like amazing, but they do provide the extra bit of comfortability. And the cons are the cost. So again, with this as being a predominantly mesh trainer, I think £140 is a lot of money. And this particular pair, because it's a predominantly navy in colour, dark navy, almost going towards black, it's not for everyone. So I would give the look and style a 4. I think it looks nice, and not as nice as some of the other pairs that I've seen, but it's still very good. And the comfortability, just what I mentioned earlier, I'd give that a 5. It's just very comfortable, and just depends on what you like. If you like more of a firm trainer, then you're not going to probably go for this, and you probably prefer something like a Adidas or Ketro or an Asics GT 2160. And the quality on this, I'd give it a 4. I think, like I said, because it's using predominantly sort of mesh and synthetic materials, it's not the greatest of materials, but there's nothing sort of wrong with the pair in terms of the way they're constructed. The pricing, I'm going to give it a 4. I think it's priced slightly too high. I think if they sort of retailed at 120, it would be good. And overall, this one is solid. It's, like I said, a dark colourway, not for everyone, but it's still a very nice 1906R, so for that reason I've given it a 4 out of 5.